Since 2019, Kenya has witnessed a shift in wildlife trafficking from iconic animals to the smallest creatures that we often ignore. In the last 2 years, a new trend has emerged. Wildlife trafficking is no longer just about elephant tusks or rhino horns. Ants are now on the list. Authorities report a steady rise in the illegal trade of live insects moving through airports and courier systems, with Nairobi, Gilgil and Naivasha emerging as key hotspots. In 2023, 3 Kenyans were charged for attempting to export ants worth over 300,000 shillings. In April 2025, over 5,000 live queen ants were discovered hidden in test tubes, a case investigators called a landmark bust. And in 2026, that trend continues. So why ants? Why Kenya? And what's really at stake? And TV's Jane Gatwiri puts this story into perspective.
You have probably come across such a mound. This is an ants colony. To be specific, a giant harvester ants colony. And beneath it is one queen, just one, with millions of its daughters. Our survival truly depends on their existence. But now, this tiny ecosystem is under threat. We meet entomologist Dr. Dino Martins, who has spent decades studying these ants.
So King Solomon, 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, was observing the very same ant which we're looking at here. So this species of ant, the harvester ant, is distributed all the way from the Mediterranean, from Israel down through East Africa, down to South Africa. But they are really abundant here in East Africa, in Kenya in particular.
These ants are ancient, resilient, and deeply connected to the ecosystems humans depend on.
You'll notice some of them were carrying stones because they use the stones to protect their nest at night from predators. What we also observed was the ants carrying pieces of grass. Now that it's been raining, they're collecting a few bits of vegetation. They're kind of organizing their nest. Inside the nest, they've stored seeds. And just like in our kitchens, we keep unga and rice and sugar and everything separate. Bila hawa wadudu, bila siafu, hatutakuwa na hii mazingira.
They farm, they build. They protect their homes in many ways. They mirror humans.
This nest is at least 60 to 70 years old. One critical service provided by these nests is they improve the drainage in the ground. So they create a space for water to infiltrate and to move through the landscape and to become available to plants and to animals.
Harvester ants are what scientists call a keystone species. Remove them, and everything else begins to collapse.
A species who is so important to the ecosystem that should it be disturbed or removed, everything else would be affected. Without harvester ants, we would not have a savanna. We would not have a grassland. Because the role that they play as seed dispersers is so important. They keep this ecosystem healthy and dynamic. The people who are buying these ants are not buying them for medicine or for other things. They're buying them to keep as pets. And they're actually setting up these formicariums for them. They're investing a lot of time and energy and their own resources in looking after the ants and watching them. And they're trying to, it's almost like they're trying to recreate a bit of nature so that they can control it themselves.
A valid reason to take it. Of course, if they do it the right way. If they do it the right way. So it is, the point is that as sometimes curiosity makes it like people now realize, oh, there's a discovery, there's this species. There's also already established uses for their arts, for example. Some people keep them as a hobby. Some keep them because they believe that they have pheromones and useful antibacterial properties that can be extracted from them.
Trafficking may seem small, but removing one queen is not just taking one insect. It is wiping out an entire future colony.
So when we see the queens that were collected and were seized at the airport, those are the young queens who have mated. The way the colony works is young queens are produced at a certain time, usually when the rains begin like now. And they fly out, they're big, so they can't fly great distances. They fly a short distance, maybe 40, 50, 100 meters. And they mate. They only mate once in their life. And that's it. The males, they're never seen or heard from ever again. They've done their job. Now the queen, she is the survival of the species. The young queen, we call her a foundress queen. She goes on to establish a new colony. Many of them don't make it. Many of them get eaten by predators, or a drought might come, or other things might impact them. But the fact is, without that moment, that magical moment of the queen dispersing to start a new colony, you would not have harvester ants. So you can imagine when somebody's collecting 2,000 queens, that is robbing this ecosystem of a hugely important part of how it works and how it's sustained.
Under Kenyan law, insects are wildlife, protected just like elephants and lions.
It's here in Kenya, it's really not a question of when. Our act, which is the Wildlife and Conservation and Management Act, CAP 376, has a clear definition of what wildlife is. So wildlife then is that animal together with its habitats, and includes plants, any wild and indigenous animals and plant and its habitat, and it's more or less the biodiversity.
Traffickers are getting smarter. Ants are hidden in specially designed tubes, keeping them alive for weeks. Beyond illegality, this is biopiracy, the theft of nature and knowledge from one country to another.
So Nagoya Protocol provides a framework of how you can access those genetic resources. So the first thing is prior, which means before you access, informed, which means you know what it is, and then consent, which means you have agreed and you are doing that. It ends up with what now, when you have that engagement, you now have what we call mutually agreed terms, MAT, which is now a legal way and an agreement of how such materials will be accessed, how they will be shared, and all the benefits, how they will be defined.
We live with them. We walk past them. We even ignore them. Yet, they quietly hold everything together.
If you even spend 5 minutes a day watching ants, your life will be much better. Rather than scrolling through social media, just go and scroll and look at the ants, and you'll find it calming and peaceful, and you'll learn a lot about how you as a Kenyan are connected to this landscape.
Insects are wildlife under Kenyan law, yet enforcement is racing to keep up with this evolving trade. As trafficking shifts from elephants and rhinos to ants and other smaller creatures, experts warn the consequences are just real. Every queen taken, every colony disrupted, affects not just the grasslands and savannas, but the food, water, and livelihoods of Kenyans across the country. Awareness and reporting can make the difference.
If you suspect that a crime is being committed against wildlife, what we say is that let the authorities know about that crime.
What disappears quietly today threatens the environment that sustains mankind tomorrow. Jane Gatweri, NTV.